Hey guys, welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake, and thanks for tuning in. We are out here in the wood yard. I just brought the tractor down, and I got my truck hooked up to the SureTrack dump trailer here. Let me show you what I got going on in the back of this trailer here. So, as you can see, I got one really big piece of wood, and then a bunch of much smaller logs for firewood. We got a couple ash logs, and then a bunch of cherry and some hickory in there as well. In addition, we have some chunks of oak. Now, this big piece of oak here is from a tree that I took down at work last week. It was a very large tree, probably up there like top 3 largest trees I've ever taken down. Obviously with the help of my guys at work. So there it is zooming out. And I have some plans for this piece. Not gonna cut it up, not gonna split it into firewood. It's mostly, I brought it home for a game that me and my buddies and Sarah like to play when we have friends over and stuff and have kind of like woodyard parties. That time of year is coming up in the fall and winter time. We like to get a big bonfire going down here, just hang out, have a couple cocktails or beers. And we like to play a game called Stump. It's a fun game. It involves nails and throwing a hammer. It's not all that dangerous, although throwing a hammer, I guess, could be kind of dangerous. But it's a lot of fun. If you guys have ever played Stump, let me know down in the comments section below. It's a game I've been playing like since high school, basically. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good time. And in order to play Stump, as you can imagine, you need a stump. Now this stump is a little bit overkill. I have a much smaller one actually in the basement. We like to play down there too when it's hot or inclement weather. But anyway, this is gonna be for stump, and just as like a little table to have out here in the wood yard. Thought it would be kind of cool and commemorate a pretty big tree that I took down. All this other stuff is gonna be firewood. These smaller pieces from this tree, I'm going to split down into chunks and save for myself. Everything else is going to be processed into firewood. So that's the story with that. I'm not taking the time to dump the trailer today because I don't have the time to dump it today. Today, what we are going to be doing is loading up 2 IBC totes onto the back of the flatbed trailer, or flatbed, deck, I guess, of the International hooklift truck. I took the dumpster can off and put the flatbed on yesterday in preparation for loading it up today with these 2 IBC totes. Basically what's going on is I have a firewood customer that I've delivered firewood to for probably like the past 3 years now. Both her and her mother both have their own houses in the same town, and they each want 1 IBC tote of firewood, one of these small totes right here. So I'm going to be giving them 2 of these totes. This stuff is real nice wood. It's left over from last year, and because it's 2 separate deliveries, I'm just going to load up the 2 IBC totes onto the back of the truck, and I will offload it manually instead of trying to like split the load by putting a divider into the dumpster can or something like that. It really doesn't take all that long to offload this stuff. Maybe 5 minutes to throw all those pieces out. So I'm happy to do that, and it just keeps everything fair, divided down the middle. Each delivery gets its own tote. So that's the plan. I gotta go grab the International truck. It's way down there. We're gonna bring it back here and load these puppies on. I haven't done this before, or a delivery like this before, by putting the totes, strapping the totes onto the back of the flatbed, but I mean, I think it should work pretty well. That's part of the reason why I welded on those big D-rings way back when onto the flatbed, kind of in preparation for a scenario like this where I got 2 deliveries about 5 minutes down the road from each other, and they each want a small quantity of wood that I can fit in 1 load. So I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So here we go. Okay guys, just got the International, dropped the flatbed down to the ground. Just provides for much easier loading. Obviously, I don't have to lift these full totes all the way up onto the back of the truck when I can drop the bed of the truck down to the ground. Pretty fancy, huh? So I was just looking, this stuff is oak. These totes are well over a year old, if not even more than that. This stuff is good. I actually pulled some, you can see this tote here is missing a little from the top. I actually gave some pieces to my uncle a couple weeks ago because he was going on a camping trip and he had a lamb, I guess, that he was cooking over a fire, and he asked me for some firewood. So I gave him like 30 pieces mixed and then probably like 20 pieces of the oak for him to cook the lamb over the fire. And he said it just worked fantastic. The oak, he got the fire going, then put the oak on, and it just burned nice and hot, long, big embers that burned for a while, and worked really well. So that's the story. I'm going to be loading up these two IBC totes onto the back of the truck, and we're gonna get ready for this delivery tomorrow. So here we go. So we obviously got the totes on the flatbed here. You can see I kind of changed my whole thinking. At first I was going to put the two totes side by side or back to back with the cuts in the cages facing outward up against the front. But that posed two problems that I kind of thought of as I was going along. One, I wouldn't have access to these shackles up in the front on that front wall, which I'd like to be able to run a strap all the way around the two of them, kind of sandwich it up against the front as one of my points of attachment to the bed of the truck. And then the second was that if I had them both side by side, they were basically going to be right up against the edge of the bed here. And I know for a fact, or I remember at least, that one of these driveways is pretty steep. It's a short driveway, but it's pretty steep up off the road, because I do remember last year when I went to dump my dump trailer, I think they ordered 2/3 of a cord, so two of the totes last year. And like the truck was in the street and the trailer was like this, and like my hitch was pretty close to bottoming out. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to drop, nor is it necessary really for me to drop the whole flatbed at these people's house in order to unload it. So I didn't want to have to just be like having my toes on the edge of the flatbed while I was throwing the wood off into their driveway. So this way, if I have one tote facing that way, one tote facing this way, I kind of have a catwalk, so to speak, on both sides of the flatbed. Plenty of room for me to walk around all up and down here to unload. And based on whichever way I approach the house, I can just, you know, stand on that side, or wherever they want the wood, I can stand, you know, or unload from whichever tote makes the most sense. So now I'm gonna grab a couple of the straps and strap these puppies down. I got plenty of points of attachment here to strap them down, so I don't think it should be too much of an issue. So I'll go grab the straps and we'll be good to go. So the first strap I'm gonna do is one of these big long ones. I'm glad I went and bought these the other day. I bought them when I was picking up more IBC Totes, but they have a really long tail on them, which is nice. So for this one, I'm just gonna run it. Just literally right around both the totes and back to the other side. So now one trick I like to do with all this extra tail is I have found a way to roll it all up. Now, I've shown this once before. Basically, you take your tail end and just roll it. Roll it, making sure that you have a center that you can fit both your hands in comfortably. So you just want a hole about yay big. And then when you get to the end with about a foot or a foot and a half left, all you do, reach your hand through that hole, right? So my hand's through, grab this part, pull it through, double it over like that, and then with this loop, pull it around your roll. And then look at what it does. It cinches it down nice and tight. That'll just hang there. It's not gonna come undone. You can pull on this tail end, not gonna come undone. And to take it out, all you do is you pull on this cinched down part, which I just really yanked on it there. Normally it's not that hard, but you just basically, this loop that you pulled, you loosen it up and just pull it back over itself and it all comes undone. So here, show you one more time. You got your roll, you rolled it up. You got your hole. Your roll, your hole, grab it. You got your loop, pull your loop around your roll, through your hole, and you're ready to go. Okay, I just went and grabbed 2 more of these straps, by the way. The whole roll loop thing works really well for just storing the straps too. So, I don't know if I really need to do this, but I'd like to have more than just one strap. God forbid something were to go wrong. Or I, have to hit the brakes or something. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna go literally up and over the top here of these totes, or yeah, I'm thinking up and over the top. And of course, it doesn't reach. Okay, that's no problem. I got longer straps. I was hoping these shorter ones would reach, less tail to deal with, but that's all right. So, since I'm doing this again, I might as well show you again. When I'm going to store these puppies, I pull it all the way through. That way my hook is right up against the ratchet itself, and I have my tail. Again, just gonna roll it. Just roll it. Okay, got a little bit left. Pull through your loop. And there we go. Well, all right, guys, there we have it. 3 straps for 2 totes on the flatbed. Now, again, this is the first time I'm doing this. I think this should be fine. I mean, we got 2 straps pulling the totes down, got 1 strap holding them forward towards the bulkhead here. I don't foresee any issues. Now, I know some of you are probably gonna say, oh, well, what if firewood falls out the side? I don't take the highway when I go to do these deliveries. The highway takes me way out of the way, so I really just take back roads where the speed limit is like 35 miles an hour at max, and it's basically a straight shot. I have driven these roads with totes in the back of my truck for a long time now. My father used to come up all the time taking the same roads back with a tote in the back of his pickup truck, and we have never had an issue. I would go ahead and strap one of the cutouts from the cages, but as you saw a couple of videos ago, I just went and got rid of them all. So I don't currently have any. I probably should have kept 1 or 2 or 3, at least that way if I ever needed to do like 3 deliveries at a time, I had some extra ones for like 3 totes. That is a mess up on my part. We will see tomorrow. I guarantee you that a piece of firewood will not fall out of those crates, mostly because I would have to take a turn left or right extremely sharp and fast for, you know, the wood to come catapulting out of the side of one of these totes. I mean, I know the road. It's like a straight shot. So I'm gonna call that good. We will see how it does lifting it back up onto the back of the truck, but again, I don't foresee any issues. So please don't beat me up in the comments about having the open face on the cage. I should have that covered up. It is my mistake that I do not. However, I do not foresee any issues. So let's get this back on the back of the truck. Looking good. No wood spilled. Totes don't look like they moved an inch. All the straps are nice and tight, so I'd say that's a success. Now I think, just based on how I have these on here and the dimensions of the totes and the dimensions of the bed, I'm pretty sure I could fit 4 totes on here at a time, you know, like back to back, with 2 facing this way with the cutouts facing this way, 2 facing that way with the cutouts. I don't think that there's enough room on the back to fit like 2 more. I think they would kind of be overhanging. If I wanted to fit that much firewood in, I would just probably put it in the dumpster can. Well, I guess if I had 6 individual deliveries, I should really just break that up over like 2 days or something. So I'm not too worried about it, but I do think in the event I had 4 deliveries, maybe 2 totes or 2 deliveries, each ordering 2 totes of firewood, I could probably put 4 totes on the back of the flatbed, and then the only downfall would be I would have to hand throw it out, but I would essentially be, you know, killing 2 birds with 1 stone and saving on that extra you know, delivery, which I factor in to the price of my firewood, the delivery and how far it is and the type of wood. So now this is all oak, so I'm charging slightly more, both because the delivery is over 10 miles and because it's oak. So, you know, that's all well and good, and just to boot, I'm doing 2 deliveries at once, so I'm saving on, you know, the fuel and the time and everything that way. So all's well that ends well. That's where the video, or at least I'm gonna be done with the video right now. I gotta run. Sarah and I have something to do this afternoon, but we're gonna pick up this video tomorrow, going to deliver this firewood. So I'll see you in a second. All right, guys, so we are back the next day, walking out to the International truck. But as I pulled in from work this afternoon, I saw that the firewood stand had, I think we had 2 bundles sold since I last emptied some money out. So here we are, and as you can see, 2 bundles gone from right there. So let's check out the money box, see what we got. Should have 10 bucks in there. Oh, 20, 25, $25. Oh, so that must be from this loose stack, and that loose stack, there should be $30 in there. If that's the case, I'm not quite sure what happened there. I'm not sure if I got gypped or if I am off in my memory as far as when I last collected money from this thing, but no problem. Either way, we got 25 bucks. So let's head to the back and get the International truck, go make these deliveries. Okay, guys, so as you can see here, this is where I've been keeping track of my firewood stand sales, and the last sale that I had was on 8/27, which was the loose stack. I saw the guy taking the wood. I just never went to retrieve the $20, so that was the $20 in there. And then I just sold, I believe on Monday, those 2 bundles, but there was only $5 in there, so there should have been $10 in there. So that is a little concerning, that somebody must have, I don't want to say stolen, but did they steal a $5 bundle? They must have, because I just checked my Venmo for the firewood stand and there is no $5 Venmo. So I guess we just witnessed our first firewood theft of a bundle. They took 2 bundles but only paid for 1, which kind of sucks. I gotta say that doesn't feel too great, but I guess it's kind of the honor system, and that person isn't honorable. So I'm not gonna worry about it too much, but I don't know. I guess just gotta go move on and go deliver this firewood that we loaded up on the truck yesterday. So here we go. Alright guys, made it to the first delivery. No firewood spilled out of either tote. I'm just going to be offloading it and throwing it into here. So just set the camera up and we'll get to chucking. Alright guys, we just headed out from the first delivery. Headed to the second one now. So we should be there, GPS says, in about 10 minutes. So here we go. Okay, got my envelope. We are all set to go. So that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Thanks for coming along on my deliveries with me. This was, like I said, the first time doing a delivery with the flatbed to load the IBC totes onto the back and then offload them by hand at 2 separate customers' houses. Personally, I think it worked pretty well. I mean, I unloaded that second one, and I don't know, I'll have to look at the footage, but I think it was probably under 5 minutes. The first one took a little longer because I was talking to the customer, but that's all good because building a rapport with the customer is always a good thing.
So that's going to wrap up the video. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below. Questions, comments, or feedback, throw it down there in that comment section. But for now, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here next time.